proposal seeks to eliminate federal funding for the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, which disperses federal dollars.
Rotten to meet you. Grump's the name, Ronald.
Donald Trump wants to cut all federal funding, period, 100% of it, for PBS.
Donald Grump happens to have the most trash of any Grouch in the world. He's coming. Here he comes.
I'm gonna come. Why is PBS being defunded?
Why am I still getting hit?
Is it because PBS content just sucks now? Is it because we can't afford it? Or is it because Trump and PBS have a long-standing feud that goes all the way back to 1988, where PBS created not one, not two, but three different versions of Donald Trump on Sesame Street to mock him. In this video, I wanted to go over each of these incidents and how it may affect the fact that Donald Trump is now defunding the very show that mocked him. As we said before, in 1988, Sesame Street debuted a brand new character called Ronald Grump. Well before Trump was known for his political endeavors, he was known as a real estate mogul. In the episode, Ronald Grump tells Oscar that he can convert his boring old trash can to a high-class trash can apartment complex, and Oscar signs the contract without even reading it. Once Grump Tower has been built, Grump starts being a grouch to everybody in the neighborhood, which the people in the neighborhood don't appreciate. But Oscar doesn't seem to mind till Grump targets him, saying that he is not allowed to have any pets in his trash can, so his best friends in the world, the worm in the, half an elephant's trunk, half to leave, which Oscar does not want to do, and he wants his trash can back the way it was. But Grump's not having it, saying that Grump has to have 40 bags of trash for Oscar to be able to get his trash can back. Lucky for Oscar, everybody else in the neighborhood hates Ronald Grump, so they gather all the trash they can, making it a big pile so Ronald Grump will go. This is a direct nod to Donald Trump's housing practices in the 1980s, which they are absolutely directly mocking. 6 years later, Donald Trump was brought back in 1994, not betrayed by a Muppet this time, but instead betrayed by Joe Pesci. In the episode, Donald Grump has informed the people of Sesame Street that he is going to be selling off the entire street to be able to build Grump Tower, but a different one this time. The town does to do everything to get Trump to understand why Sesame Street matters so much. But they are devastated to learn that Donald Trump doesn't have a heart and he doesn't care at all about Sesame Street. After Tolle sees how heartless Donald Grump is, he realizes he can't be talked to emotionally. So he decides to call the tough guy hotline, who says he has to stand up to Donald Grump. But unfortunately for him, once he confronts Donald Grump informs him that he calls the tough guy hotline every day, and then he just pushes Tolle. He just pushes Tolle. I didn't know violence was even allowed on Sesame Street. In response to Grump's actions, the entire town of Sesame Street protest against him. And what defeats Grump in the end? Finding out that his housing practices are illegal as he tries to evict Oscar the Grouch from his trash can without the proper licensing. So the town kicks Donald Grump out for good. Well, maybe Donald Grump's out for good, but what about Ronald Grump? Ronald Grump was brought back 11 years later for an episode of Sesame Street where they do The Grouch Apprentice, a parody of the Apprentice TV show Donald Trump had at the time, where in the episode, Donald Grump is trying to choose a new apprentice, and he chooses Elmo, and Elmo starts helping him with different tasks around the neighborhood, And once he realizes that Elmo is doing it out of the kindness of his heart, not because he is greedy or he wants something out of it, he wants to get rid of Elmo as he is disgusted by his kindness. So he says he wants Elmo to leave, but Elmo says he will only leave if Donald Grump gives him his wig, in which he does. Now, am I saying Donald Trump directly defunded PBS just because they made fun of him with 3 different characters? Not directly, but if a TV show made fun of me with 3 different characters, I wouldn't want to give him more money.
You better not mess with my gang, or you'll be messing with Oopie Goopie, General Munchkin Man, Lil Jim Bob, and worst of all, Larry.